Alright guys, so I wanted to do a video because I didn't see any on this. This is a 2013 GT Rear Caliper. This is the one with the parking brake mechanism attached, and I wanted to show you guys how to go about disconnecting, taking this apart. And this one is one I got on eBay, so I'm able to work on it without it being in my car. But let's go through. So the first and most important thing you have to know is that these rear pistons are twisting pistons. So they have a mechanism that allows them to spin, and in order for them to come off, you have to unwind them. They don't just pull out. So actually, I used an air compressor and I pushed it until it got to about this point, but now the piston is pretty much stuck and I need to get it out. Now I'm going to replace these pistons, so I'm not worried about doing too much damage to them. But what you want to do is, or what I have seen people do, is just grab the piston by the head where these kind of rings are, and that should allow you to actually get the piston out by turning it. Okay, so a little bit at a time. As I twist, I can see the piston coming out. Now again, these are pretty damaged, so I'm not too worried, but just be gentle if you're doing it. Try not to let your channel locks slide. And I am at the end. All right, and out comes the piston. So here is, so that you can see it. This is the head, and inside there's a threading down there. I'll show you in just a second. You can see down inside there is the screw head, and that is attached to your parking mechanism. So that's the first thing to get the piston out. The second thing we want to do is we want to take the boot off. Now the boot is actually attached on a little metal ring here around the outside. So what I do very gently is I get a screwdriver here and I see if I can kind of pry it up a little bit. Again, I would only do this if you know you're going to be replacing your boot. If you get to this point, you should absolutely replace your boot, whether it's in good shape or not. The rebuild kits are not that expensive. Okay, so that's our pretty rusted piston boot. So I'm going to set that to the side here. Then inside here, we have a tiny little ring, gasket, O-ring, whatever you want to call it. Now I use this little pick tool. You want to be very careful you're not scoring or scratching up the inside of that cylinder head or the caliper head. So that's out. Okay, so now there's a couple things we want to do to take this apart. First, I'm going to take my bleeder screw off. And on this particular one, the bleeder screw head is about that, 10 millimeters. On the Brembos, I believe it's 11. So just kind of have that in mind. Okay, so now my bleeder screw is off. Now, next on the list here is we can take this spring off. So this is pretty straightforward. Back to our channel locks. You kind of just grab it here and you can pull it off so that it's loose, and then it comes right out. Okay, now this next part is a little bit trickier, but what I like to do is I like to get this nut off. So that one is 13 millimeters. So this is a little bit tough. What I like to do is basically just get it like this and give it a little, you know, use the earth as a support. So now that nut is off. Now this is not going to come off right away. Most of the time you might be able to, you know, give it a little hit, and sometimes it'll come off, but most of the time it won't. The next thing you want to do is you want to get, there's a C-ring inside. Now I have these really, really long right angle C-ring removal clip, so I'll put it in the description. But inside here, let's see if I can get this so that you guys can see it. Well, first let me find it. Okay, so it's up here toward the top. Yeah, I am not going to be able to show it to you, but there's two little holes in the C-ring up here. So you just have to put it in, clip it together, and it will come right out. So, apologies, I don't have the light to show you that. But let's give this a shot. So you're just going to look down inside, line those two things up, and then squeeze it shut. Now, I've been told that for some people, here's the C-ring, okay? I've been told that with some people, this comes flying out. So just be careful. You don't want that to fly out and hit you. But at this point, there's nothing holding this in other than the pressure over here. So what I've seen some people do is they take this nut so that you're not beating on the screw itself. They put it on 2 or 3 more and then just give it a little tap with your hammer. 2 or 3 taps, and then it should come loose. Okay, so there's that one. Now I have this that comes off. And on the inside, now this is going to be a little bit loose, and it pops right out. Now, I'm not going to disassemble this, take it apart. This is going to go right back into the caliper once you're done. I'm going to set that to the side. And we want to take this caliper rubber seal ring off. I have, again, this pick that I am going to use to kind of get in here. Honestly, I'm just going to be replacing this, so I'm not too concerned about tearing up the rubber. But remember, you really kind of don't want to mess up where it mounts to the actual caliper. All right, that's not coming out, and I do wonder if it's because I have this piece still on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to warn you. This is a T27 bolt, but it strips like nobody's business. So I've already soaked this in PB Blaster for 24 hours. Oh, okay, and it came loose. The other one I did, that thing is toast. I think I'm going to have to replace it with something else. But, so, it's only one that holds that on. So that comes off here. Set that to the side. And now we're down to this, which, let's see how this comes off. at this point, you just want to use your pick to get any little leftover rubber off of here. And then obviously you can clean this up as necessary. But that's it. So now at this point, the caliper is fully deconstructed. All the rubber is removed. All of the piston, everything, all of the pieces are out. So if you're going to go about getting this powder coated, you know, maybe you go ahead, you clean it up a little bit with some brake cleaner. And at this point, you have everything you need in order to get this done. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. And I hope you learned something. Catch you in the next one. See ya.